Morning folks, thanks for watching. I'm in Krabi this week, and for those of you that may not know, Krabi is one of the southern provinces in Thailand. So I'm not in Malaysia, at least for the next 10 or 15 days. Right now I'm in Nofara Tanah National Park, which is just, I guess, to the north of Krabi and on the Andaman Sea. So this is one of the areas that was affected by the tsunami in 2004, because I see a lot of tsunami evacuation signs as I walk around. Anyway, in this video, what I'm going to do is just sort of wander around and let you see what I see here in town. I've never been here before, so everything is a little bit new. Some of you are wondering, Bill, what are you doing in Thailand again? Well, I'm on a 10-day coding sprint, and I left KL, come up here and get as much coding as I can done in 10 days. So that's what I'm doing here. So I get out in the morning, I can walk around in the morning, then I get to work, and in the evening I can get out and walk around again. So essentially that's how I'm going to spend the next 10 days here in Krabi. Yeah, I just ordered some rolled ice cream. I'm not sure what rolled ice cream is, but we're going to find out. I ordered coconut and pineapple. I'm guessing that this surface that he's building this thing on is cold. But I'm not going to touch it, so I'm just going to guess it's cold. This is where the rolling comes in. I was wondering where that came from. Get a little bit of whipped cream on it. Yes. Alrighty. There it is. Pineapple chocolate rolled ice cream. I'm off to the Non-On Pier just to see what it's like. I haven't been there. It's one of the walks that I can take. Well, it's one of the things that are within walking distance, I guess I should say. And it's 31 degrees, high humidity, and when you're standing in the sun, well, it's impossible to describe what it's like when you're standing in the sun. So other than that, it's a great day to be here in southern Thailand. Four days in any place makes you an expert on that place. So since I am now officially an expert on Krabi, let me tell you some of the things I found out. One of them is language. When I was in Chiang Mai, my biggest fear, of course, was not speaking Thai. understanding Thai, being able to read Thai, you name it. Thai and I do not get along very well because it doesn't even look like a language to me. I think I explained that in another video. In southern Thailand, obviously, they have the same language as they have in northern Thailand, except Krabi is very close to the Malaysian border. So I found that in many places like restaurants and 7-Eleven or something like that, I'm actually able to conduct my business in Malay. So it's quite an interesting thing, and I checked the map and found out that we are very, very close to Malaysia. So it only makes sense that a lot of the people that live here and a lot of people in northern Malaysia probably would travel back and forth between the two places quite a bit. So they become at least familiar with the other language. We had one person that worked for USSA Malaysia who was born in Perlis, which was the most northern state in Malaysia, and he also spoke pretty good Thai. He wasn't exactly a fluent speaker, but if we had to go into Thailand for any reason, he was always the go-to guy for translation. Look at the size of this bus. It almost looks like it's too big to navigate the roads around here. I don't think I've ever seen a bus quite this large before. And if you were riding on it, would you even know you were on a bus? That's got to be the biggest bus I've ever seen. Something I think that's interesting about Thailand is the way they do their money, or their currency system. Everything, as far as the consumer is concerned, is conducted in whole numbers. For example, you pay 50 baht or 200 baht or 319 baht. There's no such thing as 1 baht 50 or anything like that. So there's no decimal system as far as the currency goes, at least on the consumer level. So every unit, well, there is only one unit, so it's not every unit. There's only one unit, and that's the baht. Now, I don't know too much about currency or economics and how that works with money, but I'd almost bet that there has to be some kind of decimal system in place for dealing with every kind of currency, no matter what country it's from. But if there is a decimal system in place for Thailand, it's invisible to the consumer. We don't see it. We pay only baht. There's no cents or anything like that that you would find with the US dollar. Okay, now I want to talk about something that I don't like about Thailand, or actually Southeast Asia in general. And that's dessert. There's something about dessert in this part of the world that people just don't get. Dessert, if you go into a shop in the United States and at the end of the meal you order, I don't know, double chocolate New York cheesecake or something, you know you're in for a dessert that is thick, substantial, sweet, tastes great, and loaded with fat and calories. All right, you just know it. Nobody buys cheesecake or ice cream because they think it's healthy. Anybody that does that needs some kind of counseling. Now, I'm not certain that people in this part of the world make their desserts based on what they think is healthy. I'm sure that's not the case. And I'm sure that they don't leave sugar out of their recipes because they think it's better for them. Because almost everywhere you go in Malaysia, drinks are sweetened. It's almost impossible to find a drink in Malaysia that is not somehow sweetened. I think in one of my earlier videos I related how difficult it was to find coffee in a shop that did not already have cream and sugar in it. And I experimented with many different ways of ordering this to get just plain old black coffee. You cannot order black coffee by itself, because if you do that, you end up with coffee that sure enough is black but also contains sugar. And if you get to the point where you're explaining that you want your black coffee without sugar. And I can do this in Malay. But once I do that in Malay, I get looks as if I'm some kind of a space alien. Like, who on earth would want their coffee without sugar? That's like ordering coffee without water in it in Malaysia. So the culture has a sweet tooth. But every time I've bought dessert, cakes, cheesecake, and ice cream, and I bring this up today because I ordered some ice cream last night. Every time I order something like that that you expect to be full fat and delicious and sweet, it's a disappointment. It's always a disappointment. I have never run into a good bowl of local ice cream. I have never had a piece of cake that I thought was thick, full of fat, calories, and sweet. And I don't really know why. It's just, you would think that with the cultural sweet tooth that they seem to have, at least in Malaysia, that going overboard on desserts like they do in the United States would be a normal thing to do. But that just doesn't seem to happen here. And although I'm not a big dessert eater, when I do get ice cream or some kind of dessert, I'm sort of let down because it's not what I was expecting. So if you come here to Southeast Asia, I'm telling you right now, don't come for the desserts. One other thing I wanted to talk about in this video was how I make these videos at all. When I first started off, I was using the idea that Paul McCartney had, yeah, I'm dropping that name so I can put it in the keywords for the video. I'm using the idea that Paul McCartney had when they came up with the idea for Magical Mystery Tour. Most of you know that that's one of the albums that the Beatles put out. Well, what many people don't know is that's also a TV documentary made by the BBC. McCartney's idea was, for the BBC documentary, they would get a lot of unusual characters together. They would get the Beatles themselves, and then they would get some of their friends, put them on a bus, and then drive around and film what happened. And that's pretty much paraphrasing what the BBC description of the Magical Mystery Tour documentary was. And then when it came to the part about filming what happened, the BBC lamented that nothing did. The album was a smash, of course. The TV documentary was a total failure because they really didn't plan anything. They just thought that everything would happen automatically. They would film it and they'd have a fabulous TV show. It didn't quite work out that way. And that's basically how I've been making these videos. I just take the camera out, go for a walk, and film what happens, and then start yammering on about anything that comes into my head. Now, if you've been following me for a while, I've been doing this for almost 2 years, and I'm almost embarrassed to say it, almost 100 subscribers. Now, other YouTubers that have been doing this for a quarter of the time are well over 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 subscribers. Probably because they plan their videos a lot better than I do. But anyway, starting soon, I'm going to be planning these a little bit better. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks, I'll have videos that are laser-like in their focus and still filled with adventure. But anyway, that's what happened with the Magical Mystery Tour. It was a good album, but the documentary idea of filming just what happened to be going on at the time was a total disaster.